The strange thing about Jonathan Winters was that even when he was making an entire audience laugh, you could sometimes sense something deeper underneath. He wasn't simply a comedian walking onto Johnny Carson's stage. He was a performer carrying decades of imagination, struggle, and reinvention with him. And when he made what is commonly identified as his final appearance on The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson on May 5, 1992, there was something quietly significant about the moment. By then, Winters had already become one of America's most extraordinary comic performers. His career had taken him from radio and television into movies and legendary character work. His creations, including Maude Frickert and Elwood P. Suggins, showed an ability to transform his voice, body, and imagination almost instantly. But his journey wasn't always easy. Winters had openly discussed the emotional difficulties he experienced earlier in life, including a breakdown in 1961. Then came Carson. For Winters, The Tonight Show became almost a second home. Carson understood that Winters didn't always need a conventional interview. Sometimes, all Carson had to do was give him a little room, and an entirely different character could appear. The two developed a remarkable comedic rhythm, with Carson often trying to discover where Winters' unpredictable imagination was going next. And that's what makes those later appearances so fascinating. By the early 1990s, Winters wasn't the young revolutionary comedian he had once been. He was an established legend, surrounded by younger generations who had been influenced by his fearless style. In September 1991, he even appeared alongside Robin Williams, another performer whose explosive improvisational energy seemed connected to Winters' own legacy. But the May 5, 1992 appearance carried another kind of weight. Carson's legendary run was itself nearing its end, and Winters' final visit came only weeks before Carson's final broadcast on May 22. Honestly, that's what I find most moving about this moment. Neither man needed to prove anything anymore. The laughter came from experience, not desperation. Winters would continue performing for years after Carson's retirement, but that chapter was closing. And perhaps the most beautiful part is this. Television eventually moved on, but the strange, fearless imagination Jonathan Winters brought to that stage never really disappeared. Because sometimes, the greatest comedians don't leave us with one final joke. They leave us with a feeling, and decades later, we still remember the laugh. If this story brought back memories, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more untold television stories.